I'm doing the intro.
Okay, you're gonna do the intro. To hit the intro. Yeah. Oh, hey, wait, hold on.
Wait.
Hold on. Wait, did you try to add Sean? I tried to add Sean. Yeah, okay, now. Okay, now.
I said the intro.
Yeah, now intro.
Yeah.
Welcome to Home Service Happy Hour, brought to you by Service Monster. Intro done. Hold on. Are you gonna play the music too? You gonna play some music?
John? I am playing the music.
Oh, I can't.
We don't.
Oh shoot.
I'm dancing.
The only thing I hear is Michael over there cranking on his keyboard. It sounds like.
Oh, really? Dang! Okay.
It sounds like, you know, in Napoleon Dynamite, where the brother's sitting there just like like and just banging on those super hard keys. That's what Michael sounds like over there.
That's a brand new keyboard because I spilled an entire cup of coffee on my other one last week. So got to break it in a little bit, I guess.
That's a good way. That's like the best way to replace electronics. When you don't like them, just spill something on them, and then you don't have to feel bad about getting a new one. You know?
Yeah. You want to know how much you have it though? Just my old one was like years old. I bought the exact same one.
I'm surprised they still had it. That's like getting a typewriter because it's like the typewriter that you used to have. Guys coming in. Oh shit! Look at his. This is all bedazzled and stuff.
Show off.
Damn. That's way cool. That's way cool. Just like that wasn't a 1-up. That was like a 3-up. That was like leaps and bounds. What's up, everybody? It's so good to be back. Just dancing some intro music. Welcome to Home Service Happy Hour, brought to you by Service Monster. It's pretty cool to say that. I talked about it last night. We were doing an elk hunt recap, but I'll reiterate in case you didn't catch that one. Because I always got to say a quick little shout out to Service Monster. In the fall, and this is all times of year, but in the fall, especially when we're making like that last push in our business to grind out a bunch of revenue before we hit the winter slowdown for most of us, capacity and demand. It's all about managing capacity and demand. I see so many business owners not make the most of their fall because they don't have enough capacity to execute. They can't route efficiently. They can't even take half of their leads because they didn't plan their capacity and demand accordingly. And they don't maximize the day. And one thing I love about Service Monster, and I've seen all the CRMs, right? Like as a bookkeeper, I literally see all of them. Service Monster has the best way of managing capacity and demand by dollars, by person, by route. And man, it just helps you make the most of every single day, which you have to. We have like 40 days left of work. At least us weirdos up in Minnesota, where by Thanksgiving, like we're done. We're done a lot of times. And so when it's that tight, you got to make the most of every day. So go check out Service Monster. And again, I'm not trying to sell anybody anything. I hate people that sell people shit. I get that we all need to sell everybody stuff, but like, you know what I mean? Like a used car salesman. If the intent is to help people, cool, then I'm a buyer. But if you're just trying to sell me some shit, don't sell me some shit. Now I'm not here to sell you Service Monster. I'm the first one to tell you, don't switch right now. That'd be fucking crazy. Don't switch your CRM right now. Run your business right now. Switch your CRM when things are slow. But go dabble. Go check it out so that when winter comes and you are slow, that's the time to switch your CRM. That's why I'm telling you about it right now. Go check out Service Monster. There's a QR code somewhere down here. I'm never going to get it right. I'm never going to point to the right side of the screen or the left side of the screen. Which side of the screen is it? I don't even know. This is my right shoulder, but I think it's the left side of the screen. It's always inverted. Brought to you by Service Monster. See that? I even pointed to the wrong side again, even though I just talked about it. Brought to you by Service Monster, but also, as always, brought to you by us. Dan Plata, Best Damn Bookkeeping. We got Angela Schroeder. I even pointed to the wrong side of the screen again. Angela Schroeder, Unique Genius VAs. Michael Gregory down in that corner. Click, call, sell. And our boy, Sean Day, right on there. Hire, lead, chill. Brought to you by all of them because they're right here. They're bringing it to you. That's what it's all about. So thank you guys for hanging out, joining the fun. How's everybody been? What did I miss? Cool things happening? Anybody got cool stuff?
Cool stuff. I don't know about that.
I don't know. Are we all too old to do cool stuff now? We're just
done cool stuff. Our only trip like cool stuff. We went and did some lighting training. That was fun. I always love learning more about holiday and permanent lighting.
Like in North Carolina and Wilmington, or were you out
in Raleigh?
Okay, there you go.
Tompkins, learning about Omni and permanent lighting. And so I always think it's fun to get to learn more of industry stuff. And then we should have him back pretty soon, so then I'll be able to show you. JC and I did a day in New York City he made a new one. I made my first one, our avatars.
Ooh.
So you film in the studio. They film your facial expressions, movements, voice, film all different kinds of stuff in the studio. It's fun. You do hair and makeup in this professional studio. And then
That's me, hair and makeup, dude. I'm just all
and then it makes an avatar. And then, you can just, like, my team can give the avatar a script and it'll make a video and like send you a personalized video. That looks like
is it like cartoonish at all, or does it
No.
actually look exactly like you?
Yes. When I show it,
if you sent it to me, I wouldn't know that it was not actually you.
You would know because you see me enough.
I got you.
You see me and know my expressions and know everything. Some my clients that have not physically met me or don't interact with me all the time, I don't think I'll know. Maybe. Or even if they do, it's still a fun, different personal touch. You know what I mean? It's just.
And did you say like you went to New York to do that? Like you did a day trip up to New York to do it? How did you find who did it? How did you find them? What do they do?
A friend of JC's in Bike Club. She is part owner in the company.
Cool.
And so
I got a fly flying around here. Yesterday I caught a fruit fly flying around my head. Now I just got a regular fly flying around my head.
A beer fly.
And then my last part is just it's a fun season of like just helping people get all set up. It's October 2nd, so like light season is in full force.
Oh, dude!
And just getting all kinds of people just like really set up for the season, answering phones and getting estimate and getting their admin team set up. It's been fun.
It's full speed.
Yeah.
Sean, I know for you this time of year like slows down a little bit just because people either have their team by October or they don't. There's industries where, like maid service and stuff where they're just going to keep plugging. Michael, do you see an uptick right now with people like scrambling to try to get stuff set up to make a fall push from a marketing standpoint? Or if they're not going by October 2nd, or are they SOL outside looking in?
So industry by industry, a lot of exterior cleaning here. So yeah, fall rush is real, especially like gutter cleaning season. People are ramping up for Christmas lights like crazy. If you haven't gotten your employees hired by now and you're like training set up, you're in trouble. But yeah, this is like a mini spring rush. You got 8 weeks to finish the season strong. December 15th, if you haven't booked your service by then, it doesn't matter what industry you're in, you're going to be pretty slow from December 15th to January 15th.
No doubt. Check out this guy. Andy Mashura. Checking in. What's up, Andy? Finally caught you guys live. He's probably like out walking around on somebody's roof putting some holiday lights up right now with his Santa hat on. Thanks for checking in, Andy. I was on a call with Andy just this morning. It's double time. I got Andy bookending my day.
Good dude.
Sean, what you got going on? What's going on in the labor market these days? Is it still like getting a little bit better as the economy gets a little bit worse and a little bit worse?
It's there. Yeah, the candidate stuff's flowing pretty good, but there's like this political thing happening where everybody's kind of like pausing a little bit with life and slowing down a little bit and just kind of wondering what's going on. And I hear them talking about that a lot. I see a lot of posting on it. So yeah, but we're getting a lot of, hey, we got our 2 guys. Awesome. Thank you. We'll get back to you in a couple months for the Christmas light stuff. So we're getting a lot of that, which is cool. When we weren't as awesome as we are now, it would take maybe a month or 2 to get those people done. So it was like that season for us lasted longer. But now,
you're working yourself out of work by delivering results too fast.
Exactly. We got, we're dialed into 2 weeks instead of a month and a half, which is cool. That's all right. But I did Molly Moran's podcast. She's starting up a podcast and starting in November. So I was on with her at noon today, and she's just, it's like, as soon as she gets on the screen, dude, it's just like all I said, she just screamed and yelled. And I go, dude, you're loud and in your face, man. I love it. I haven't seen you in a while. And it's just, it's like, whoa, here she is. We had a really good time. It was cool.
Dude, I miss Molly. I haven't seen Molly in forever.
Yeah,
I'll have to Check in with her.
Traveling a lot. She's like, I traveled for about a year and a half, been all over the world. Now I'm ready to really focus in on what I want to do here. So she's
Sweet.
really in a good place. Yeah.
Hell yeah. Speaking of checking in, Ed Aaron's in the house. What's going on, Ed? How's the weather on that side of town, Ed? How's the weather over there? Probably hot as shit. I can't believe how hot this fall has been. It's like bonkers. It's just bonkers. I don't like it. The only positive about it being so hot is that because it was so hot, and I missed like the first 2 weeks of deer hunting with the bow here. And normally that would be like a huge bummer, but it was in the 80s every day. Nobody wants to bow hunt when it's in the mid 80s every day. So I kind of just like didn't miss anything anyway. David Wyatt checking in said, "What's up, guys? Enjoying the show." Thanks, David. Appreciate that. Ed says, "It's gorgeous. Loving it for getting things done." Hopefully now here's the rub of warm weather for us Minnesotans is it keeps the water temperatures warm. And that keeps, it kind of like plays together. But one of the conundrums, it's great for, people out trying to do work and stuff, Ed. But for those of us that really just want to go ice fishing and deer hunting, this warm weather is a killer because when the water stays warm for this long, it just takes that much longer for it to cool down and turn into ice. So Angela doesn't bail out on my ice fishing trip this year. It's got to happen.
That was not my fault.
Yep, totally your fault. But you guys had sales boost going on. Angela, can you give us so that was last year. Sales boost is even cooler this year, and it was awesome last year. I want to talk to you about making some mugs and employee engagement stuff, but give us a quick synopsis on what you guys got going on with sales boost and the home service. Is it home service workshop? Did I get that right? Is that what we're calling it?
Yes, home service workshop. So Salesforce is combining with some other shows. So you can do one plane ticket, one hotel room, and pack all kinds of shows and see all your favorite people. So home service workshop is kind of the umbrella.
The family of shows.
Family of shows. And it'll be sales boost. Ryan Lee's is called Light It Up, I think.
All light. He sent me a t-shirt the other day, and I like it on the back. It says all light. There you go.
There you go.
You guys
then Responsicon, bringing back Responsicon and
Mm-hmm.
PWMCA. So it's the end of February in Orlando, and it's like a Universal Studios hotel. So a really good location. We don't have any speakers for any shows announced yet, so stay tuned for that. That'll be coming, but just know it'll be powerful because it's like all kinds of you get to do all kinds of things in one place.
Do we have dates? Because I literally have my pen and my paper handy so I can write these dates down because I need to like start getting hotel rooms and plane tickets and cool stuff like that.
Maybe we need to send people that. I'm sure it's out there on Facebook.
On the webs. What's the let's do this. What's the website for it? There's probably a website.
Well, I don't know what the home service.
It's out there.
How about I get that and I put it in here too? It's February 26th through March 1st. Sales boost is 26th, 27th, and then the whole thing lasts February 26th through March 1st.
Sweet. Oh, I see.
The home service workshop, right? It's just homeserviceworkshop.com.
Yeah. That's what it looks like to me. There I am. February. Here, let me check this out. I'm gonna do one of these. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do that. This is me clicking buttons and not multitasking. There it is. Look at this. The one show to rule them all. One flight, one hotel, 5 conferences, and one
Nice.
schedule and speakers coming soon.
Yeah.
Vendors.
Screen share.
Yeah, here we go. But I got to talk it out for all you podcast listeners. So we got sales boost. I like that one. That's a good one. $1 Million Admin, ResponseCon, PWMCA, Light It Up Expo. That sounds like the Ryan Lee. What's $1 Million Admin? What's that one?
I forgot about that. Jill's office is putting that on.
Oh, sweet. Sweet. Cool.
Yeah.
Vendors, let's get best damn bookkeeping in here. We're gonna vend the shit out of this show. Be vending so hard.
I think Jill's rebranding, right? That's why it's.
Oh, Jill's is rebranding. They're not gonna be Jill's anymore. Is this like one
I
of those
think-
things where it was like they had a Native American on their football helmet and they couldn't do it anymore, so they had to be politically correct and they called themselves the Commanders or something stupid now?
That's
Those-
Karen's office.
That's Karen's
That's
office.
what
Yeah,
I-
somebody was offended. Somebody named Jill got
Excuse me.
offended.
Yeah.
No, I think that's the plan on their end.
That's cool.
they're
I
branding it.
think I better reach out to Brant and have him on have him on the late night happy hour and dig it in, see what's going on.
Yep.
All right, I'm gonna be there. This conveniently, Angela, this is after our ice fishing event, so I'll be there, and you'll be able to go too. You'll be able to go to this show because you won't be busy ice fishing.
That's good.
Yeah.
I think that's why they picked these dates. Honestly, I remember I was in the room. They're like,
Yeah.
ice fishing. Dan will be able to go, so let's pick these dates.
Yep. I'm glad they
All around you. All around you.
I'm glad they figured that out.
Nice.
I'm pumped. What's the hey, this works best on like a public live show like this. So that you have to like give me an answer that I like. How like where do I get to speak? I want to get up there and swear at people and drink beer in front of people. How many like different places will you guys have to be able to speak? Does each show have its own like speaker lineup?
Each show has their own speakers, yes, and then there'll be speakers like main stage. I think just one speaker on the main stage to kick off a morning, like a keynote on the main stage to kick off each of the mornings, and then you break into your track. And then there is, food and boost is I have to use JC's terminology, is the important part for sales boost. But lunch will be in the vendor hall every day.
Vending.
Ooh,
Just a bunch of vending machines. We're gonna be a bunch of vending machines. Get it? This is a bad joke. Such a bad joke.
Oh, I love it.
No, I'm pumped.
That's good. It's super good for vendors because there's some shows just like have the vendors almost way off to the corner
Yes.
somewhere.
Just redheaded stepchildren. Just
Yeah.
dismissed out in the left field.
Big time. So that's cool. That's a good idea. Chow hall and vendors.
Yeah, Ed told me to remember the bush lattes.
That wasn't even my fault. Those weren't even my Trulies when Dan came to speak, but I didn't know Dan yet, so I didn't know that he needed Bush Light to go.
Yeah,
on.
Ed, true, not truly, but true to what Angela is saying. Last year at Sales Boost, Angela did have a case of Bush Lights in the fridge for me. Like, no joke. They were there and they got drank. Ed said he's hoping to have someone cover snow. Ed, if we just have a winter like last year, there just won't be any snow. And so then you'll be fine. You'll be good to go. But yeah, Bush Lights all around. Some lattes in the house. No, I'm pumped. That'll be super fun. There's not maybe I'm deprioritizing conventions too much, but that's like, I don't have anything on my schedule until then. That's going to be my staple show. That's going to be my first one. I think I got a couple other ones to get to in the spring, but I'm pumped for that one.
It is good for vendors, like you said, Sean. One, as a vendor, instead of having to try and decide between these 4 shows, you can go set up your stuff once.
Yep.
But it's not tucked away. It's like in the main spot. Everyone will be eating lunch in there. There's dedicated vendor time, and like it'll be the place to be.
I need to get back to Kurt. I think Kurt sent me a thing for a sponsorship thing.
Oh, I just boxed him and said you announced on air that you were in.
Yeah, I'm in. I'm there.
He's in charge of.
It's probably the best way to say you want to speak at an event is talk to one of the show owners and say, "Hey, I'm on a radio show right now. You're not going to say no to me at this moment."
Hey, Angela, can I speak at your show? Can I come to the show and talk to people?
I mean, on air, be like, "Hey, which stage am I on?"
Yeah. Throw me out
Main
there.
stage Thursday morning, done.
So this is a quick little side story, and I don't maybe this becomes a intentional thing going forward. When I was at Clippa in San Diego, I set my computer up and the thing froze. Like I could not get my slides up, and it just turns out that's totally fine because nobody wants to look at freaking slides with a bunch of Dan's financial stuff on it anyway. So for like an hour, I just gave my presentation, but I just did it like it's an episode of this, right? Like we don't have slides when we do this. We're just hanging out.
What I was thinking though, that just I was thinking that right before you said that. We should do an episode of this at the
live
on stage.
home service happy hour live at the home service workshop.
Yeah.
Be crazy not to. Be crazy not to. Sign me up. Sign me up. But I think that's going to be my new gimmick. I'm going to always act like I've got a bunch of slides prepared, and then I'm just not going to have them, and we're just going to go. It's more fun that way. It's more authentic. Nobody likes looking at slides. Or do they? Do you guys like looking at slides? Anybody like looking at slides?
Like 2 max.
It depends if they're
I like looking
entertaining.
at slides. Good slides.
Yeah, like Michael's presentation at Clippa, like he had some fun AI. Like I remember a lot of the slides, like the go.
Well, thank you. Can I speak at the event, Angela? I'm kidding.
Good strategy. No, he's not good. He's not good.
You guys are on the list. We just have to reach out.
I took my sales boost mug downstairs. Shoot. I swapped my sales boost mug for a whiskey and Coke mug. But last year you had some pretty sweet, some etched coffee mugs. 2 questions. Do I get a new cooler this year? And B, can you help me make some for my team? Because I want to, and we're going to talk about employee engagement stuff. But one of the things I love to do is have like customized stuff for my team. And actually, quick shout out to Unique Genius VAs. Jason, who was our first bookkeeper that we got from Unique Genius, just hit his 1-year anniversary. And one of the cool things we like to do is when they hit an anniversary, like forever, for the rest of time, any employee gets to like pick out something they want and we slap a cool logo on it. And like, I'm not rigid about our branding. It just has to be cool. And so they can, whatever color they want that logo to be, if they want it upside down, if they want it, whatever, however they want that logo, they get it. It's theirs. And so Jason got a sweet hoodie that he probably never would have bought himself, but he got to buy it now and slap a best damn bookkeeping. And he's traveling. He's going on vacation right now. And he was at the airport and he took a selfie. He's like, my new travel sweatshirt. And I was like, why does somebody in the Philippines need a hooded sweatshirt? Isn't it just a billion degrees there all the time?
Because it's cooler inside in the air conditioning. When we did the summit, that was the item that they wanted. They all wanted zip up hoodies. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
God.
Yeah. I guess
That's
it's
funny. Jai, what's going on down there? Why are you guys all so cold?
Because in the events, like if you organize a conference hall, right? Angela experienced this. We were so cold, right? So
Just
The
pumping
air
it in.
conditioning's on.
yeah, because the air conditioning is on. So
Is it
we like-
is it a Debbie Sardone strategy? Sean and I have to go to Debbie's event every year, and she keeps that room at like 58 degrees. People are bringing blankets down from their hotel room.
Literally.
I don't know if you know this about Filipinos too. We don't like our sun because it makes us tan more. That's why. It makes us more tan, so we like to wear those
Cover up.
yeah, cover up.
Can I have some of your tan? I need all of it actually. Like
Well,
this
I-
is where
I
this
look
is
so
how
tan.
the color white got invented, was my forearms.
Not a lot of tan folks roaming around Minneapolis, huh?
No, there's not a lot of sun up here in these parts up north, but that's okay.
Yeah.
But I love the ability for them to like customize stuff is what I'm getting at. And I think now maybe I'm biased, and I think there's other things like you listeners, there's cool stuff you guys can do for your employees in this regard too. All of my employees are at a desk all day, and coffee and water are like the 2 things. And if they're in a truck running your jobs, they're probably out drinking coffee and water too. Hopefully they're just drinking coffee and water. As I'm sitting here drinking whiskey. Okay. Shut up, Dan. Anyway, but I really like the idea of them having like a company mug to drink out of, right? Like I asked Angela about the sales boost mugs because those were nice. And like, I want it to be cost effective, right? It can't cost $1 billion every time we hire somebody. But I want to have like a Yeti style 20-ounce tumbler type of thing. And then a Tervis glass for colder liquids. But you guys know what the Tervis ones are, where they're like double walled, clear.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So I think we need some of those. But anyway, Angela, you said you could etch them. I
I'm
can
gonna
also
make
just
yours.
I can order like a batch of 12 and get them customized.
No, so. Do you know how much they were for sales boost? That's what we could get. The sales boost ones are nice. We get such great feedback on them.
They're awesome. I use mine all the
How
time,
much do you
like
think they
literally
cost?
every morning.
All in cost per cup.
So this is a guess because I think what you're trying to get me to do is to guess a higher number, and you're gonna be like, no, it's lower than that. That's what you're trying to get me to do. But I think JC had said to me at one point what they were, or maybe you had said. And so I want to say, and again, I would have expected they were more than this. This is just me regurgitating what I think I had heard previously was like $6 a mug.
Yeah, $4.88.
Yeah, pretty close. Pretty close.
But they're like really nice. If you got them from, I mean, there are great companies that do swag, and they are really, really nice cups. We like love it. I mean, that would cost you, I don't know.
They're like $35, $40 a pop.
Yeah. So that's why I said, I was like, no, just order them on Amazon. I was like, I'll just order them on Amazon to here, and we'll etch it, because JC's dad has a machine. You fit them in the machine and it etches them, and you just knock them out quick.
Does it do colors, or is it just always that metal sheet?
Always the metal.
Okay. I think the metal would be kind of cool. We could always do one with the logo on it with like the colors, but I think the etched logo would look freaking sweet anyway.
Yeah. And then you could do color ones on your Turvis. But
yeah.
That way it's easy to. Not everyone contacts me for swag.
Let's just say, now Unique Genius VAs has a new business model, secondary. We got started a new LLC, etching mugs. Yeah, I'll follow up.
It allows you to do more. That allows you to do more for your team, and you can make your dollar go further. And
Nina, I had a demo that didn't show up today, and Nina and I were just hanging out, and I was like, let's do some shopping. So we started like poking around, looking at stuff, and that's where I was like, we just need to text Angela and like before I start buying stupid stuff.
So yeah, I sent her the Amazon link for the cups, but I was like, we'll send the cups here.
Yeah, I'm down. And then I'll have another sales boost one. I'm gonna need to have like, or are you having a Corona over there? So you got a Corona in the house?
I am. I have Corona.
Way to go. Yeah, I'm down. I'm down for that. One of the reasons I want to talk employee engagement is I think the fall, like spring is important, but your employees are like excited to get full schedules and all that stuff. It's not as hard to engage employees in the spring. Engaging them down the stretch, especially if you do holiday lights, the burnout is real. And I also think there's the natural vitamin D deficiency, right? Like we're all getting less and less and less sunlight, and like that's some real shit. So I want to kick this around for a little bit because I have seen over the last decade of running home service businesses and just being a human, fall can be a struggle. Fall can be a struggle for us as business owners because there's the stress of like making the last push, and fall can be it's such a stress. Did Angela freeze up, or did she do that thing where she just got really still again all of a sudden? She did that earlier, Michael.
Definitely a frozen.
This is a frozen one because she didn't react.
Nobody holds her neck like that.
Oh, you know what it is? I bet she forgot to put her ice pack on her camera.
Let's take her down for a little.
Play the music. You'll know for sure if it's frozen or not.
Yeah. Man, she's stoic. She's stoic.
Dan, you got a squirrel moment. Your listeners need to hear what you just said. That was really good.
What was I saying?
You got distracted.
Yeah.
You don't even know what you're saying.
I didn't remember what I was saying. Hold on, here comes Angela.
Grind, vitamin D deficiency. Like
oh no, now I just removed her. Let's add her back. Sorry.
You're on.
But it is such a challenge, and I know especially with holiday light business owners right now they're excited, but by like mid-November they're toast, right? And I've seen it in JC the last couple of years. I see it in our buddy Rob who jumps on this show a lot. It's such a stressful push. A, because we're busy as hell, but B, because the next 3 months of our lives are dependent on it, right? So it's stressful in that regard, and we know the pressure's on, and our employees are struggling. And I always try to make this clear, like when you are leading any team, you have all of your problems and you have everybody else's problem. And that's the nature of leadership. Like you are absorbing their problems. And sometimes we have some cushion in between with some managers, helping out depending on the size of our business. but I think that's real, and it makes employee engagement that much more important. Like this time of year, especially and I talk about this all the time, and I see it firsthand. Like I see nobody can bullshit me about the success of their business. Like I see all the Facebook posts of people like, I got this many trucks and we're doing this. And so much of it is bullshit, you guys. So much of it is just ego and them having to feel good about themselves. I see what's going on. I see what everybody's doing. And that's cool if they need that feeling. But when people are struggling in the fall, it goes back to capacity demand. It goes back to they don't have enough employees, or they did when they started, and then they lose employees. And all of a sudden, life gets really stressful. When you have employees quit in the fall, it's way harder to replace them. Like, hopefully you're signed up with Hire Lead Chill and you've got something going on the recruiting side, so you've got people on the bench that you can call in a pinch. But man, life gets really stressful when you have a bunch of work on the schedule, you have more leads than you can handle, and it's all on you. And your days are getting long and the hours are getting shorter, or the hours are getting longer and the days are getting shorter. You know what I mean? There's less daylight to get your damn work done.
Work longer. Yeah.
It's stressful, man. It's stressful. So the better you can engage your employees and keep your employees and make sure they're not quitting, because times get tough. Like you need that. You need that. So let's talk some employee engagement. Hey, anything else to add? But then let's talk some employee engagement strategies down the fall. Let's help everybody keep their teams in happiness mode.
Can I talk about that for a second?
Nope, absolutely not. Angela, You got anything cool to say? Oh yeah, sorry. Yeah, of course.
So anybody that is part of like Click Call Sell got a newsletter that literally said exactly the same thing that you just said, Dan. So that's awesome. So if you don't follow Caleb Winninger, he's got the service engine, super, super smart dude. I was at an event with him last year, and he runs a pretty large, very large exterior cleaning company in Michigan. He said, as you scale your business, you have to get really, really good at hiring very quickly, right? So I have a good friend, Pest Control, like going from $20,000 to $400,000 a month in March, right? Because you just have to, the bugs are out. It's time to hire and get to scale. And so that's what first thing is, if you're going to grow a large business, you have to be able to hire very, very quickly and then know exactly when to let people go. Second is for Christmas lights. I've had like this insane opportunity in the last 6 years through the Conquer program of coaching a lot of very successful Christmas light people, JC being one of them. I got to see JC grow from, 100,000 or whatever to $1 million. It was amazing to watch his journey, and several other people along the way. A couple of things I've learned from specifically Christmas lights is you nailed it on the head. And that is, you have to mindset. You have to get your team prepared before it happens of what they're going to experience from October 1st or whenever you start installing until the season's over. So you're basically the cheerleader to say, hey, it's happening. Here we go. Get ready. That way you're mentally prepared for what's going to be happening. You have to be maniacal about efficiency, because if there is any sort of chaos amongst the already existing chaos of nonstop 10, 12, 14-hour days and you're forgetting materials or products, that destroys your efficiency and morale as well. And the final most important piece I can suggest is, and I learned this from my time at Neighborly, is have a plan. Have a set goal in mind, how much revenue you want to do. Buy your lights ahead of time to save your money, because if you buy them really in bulk, you save cash. And when you hit that goal and it's November 30th or November 27th or whatever it is, and there's still a week or two left, you could squeeze out a little bit more revenue, just stop, because your team knows when you run out of lights, you're done. And everybody's on the same page. And if you start to just like push really hard at the end, everybody's done and it all falls apart. And so have a goal, stick to it, keep the team on that specific date that you're going to be ending the season, and stick to your plan. Because if you do all those things and you keep your team excited and engaged, everything will work a lot smoother.
I really like that too, in that for a lot of us, we don't just do holiday lights. We do landscape lighting or pressure washing or window cleaning or landscaping and lawn care. And you need those guys. You need those guys in March. And so if they fizzle out, and we had this happen a lot where we didn't do all the things you just said, and we would lose guys throughout November. It got, especially in the farther north you are, when it's 20 degrees out and their fingers are freezing and it's sleeting rain and you're sending them out to crank out work, like, it's not for everybody. And if you're not being an awesome leader, they're going to leave, right? They got a couple weeks left, and if they find a job that pays them more or that they think has more potential going into the next year, they're gone. And so you need to have a plan, like you said, Michael, and you need to retain them so that when you fire back up in March and you got whatever going on, you're not starting from scratch every single time. Like that sucks being on. And I was there for damn near a decade doing that, playing that game. Not fun. Not fun. Sean, you got anything to add? And then we'll hit some employee engagement ideas.
Yeah, I mean, I think just to echo what Michael said, every time you have a good expectation and it's laid out and they understand it and it's clear, it's hard to fail. I mean, it really is, and that's also a good time to start bringing out. And I guess this is the segue in to have those year-end sort of rewards and keep that sort of recognition going on. Because they are burned out. That's the time that they really need to hear how valuable they are, because they're burning out and they're tired, and they need to know at that time, man, you guys are just awesome. Here's some fun awards that we can give you. Because I mean, the career path and things like that, that's one thing. That's a big high level thing. But to do the rewards and awards right at that moment of that last month or that last couple of weeks, there's not a hell of a lot of time, but make the time to do that. Take time, even when you're slammed, because they're tired, man, and they need to hear that. They really need to hear that if they're out there pushing through this hard weather and stuff like that. The timing on that is key.
Hell yeah. I like this one. Ed chiming in and said, we used to only hire when we needed to. The old reactive hiring. And then good old Sean Day changed their mind on that. We're still recruiting all winter.
He's the man,
dude. And it's just 99% of business owners aren't doing it, aren't always recruiting. Yeah. They're just not. And they complain so much about not having the best people in the world. And it's funny. It's it's such a solvable problem. It's such a thing where it's just easier to complain about it than it is to solve it, even though we know exactly how to solve it. And it's just keep recruiting. That's all. That's all you gotta do. Let's talk employee engagement stuff. Keeping people so important. Hold on. You guys heard of this guy? Michael, you know this guy?
Oh, yeah.
You know this Daniel Mendenhall?
Yeah. Yeah. Awesome. How do you know Dan? Or Daniel? I guess his friends call him Dan. I just learned that at the Huge Convention this year.
Bullshit. He's always been a Daniel to me. No, Daniel. When I was running Blue Skies, all of our businesses, Daniel's our man. Daniel's our guy.
Oh, awesome. Okay.
Oh yeah.
So Daniel and I were meeting damn near every week. Him and his big beard, his badass chair. I always thought he has a cool office chair. He said, would having a base pay during the down season be too expensive? Seen many roofing companies do this, but their average ticket is much higher. I've seen people do it, but they withhold it throughout the year, right? Like they bank employees' pay throughout the year and they set some aside so that they can keep them during the winter. And I've also seen that work almost just as good with putting people on unemployment, like paying them their full wage the entire year and then having them go on unemployment for 3 months. But Michael, you said it earlier. I think so much of it is the expectations. If they think they're going to get a paycheck or they think they're going to have work to do all winter and they don't, that sucks. Yeah. If they know when the work is going to end and they can plan accordingly and they know you're going to start back up on March 15th, they might get a gig in the short term. They might go on unemployment and go snowboarding or ice fishing all winter. Like as long as they know what they're getting into, it's way easier to plan. When it becomes a surprise that winter happens and all of a sudden work is slower and there's no money coming in, that sucks.
It also depends on how skilled they are too. So if you're looking at the trades like plumber, HVAC technician, handyman, where you need to have some sort of certification, not handyman, but electrician or something.
Yeah.
They can go get a job anywhere. So you don't have as much volatility. But like roofing, if you're just a guy that rips off shingles on a roof, that's just a laborer. And those people you have to get really good at hiring for in general. But yeah, so this question for anybody that owns a business, like your labor goes into your cost of goods sold. And you're managing that responsibly the 10 months a year you're really busy. When you don't have revenue, those 2 months keeping those employees will destroy like months and months. I have a client that I do fractional integration work for. We just started, I'm in fractional integrator, run as like L10 meetings. And I had started in like April or May of this year. And looking at January and February, just kept way too many employees and played catch up for like the first 6 months of the year just to get to the point where we're at zero. And so it can take months to catch up because you don't realize labor is 20, 30%, 35 in some industries.
Yep.
And if you
Yep.
don't,
Shit. Yeah. I mean, like, it especially, it's more than that if people are like paying hourly, right? Like it can get
well, you
wild.
see it way more than I do, I'm sure. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I've had a few clients that tried to do that and very irresponsibly and gotten a big hole. I like the idea of it, but it's like you almost have to borrow it from them throughout the year. Ooh, look at me getting all laggy. Did you guys see? Oh, am I still laggy?
Yeah.
Why am I so laggy? Oh, no, I stopped lagging. I stopped lagging when I started trying to do cool stuff. But yeah, I've seen people get irresponsible with it. And I like it in the sense of you got to put your employees first. Without your employees, you have nothing. Like you're back being the day-to-day dude. So I like it in that sense, but it can't bankrupt the business or there's no job for them to come back to. And I've seen people take it to like that extent. And they just didn't do the math on it. And so there's a lot of ways to slice it. Usually you need to bank money for the employees to be able to do that. What we ended up doing is just we put everybody on unemployment. And it costs us a lot in unemployment taxes, but we're maxed out on it. And the employees get the benefit of it. They get 3 months to go screw around, maybe pick up an odd job, whatever they want to do. But again, so much of it is expectation setting. Like they know when they're going to come back. They know what the game plan is. And whether it's customers, employees, as we talk about it with recruiting, and marketing and recruiting are the same thing. Customers, employees are the same thing. If you set really good expectations, it's so much easier to navigate. You just can't blindside people.
It's also planned and communicated, right? It's ahead of time. You're telling what's going to happen. 3 other things too is if you're in a seasonal business, give an end of year bonus. Anybody who makes it from the beginning to the end of the year, you should always be having like an end of season party to kind of celebrate the year. Anybody that made it from the beginning to the end, celebrate that person. Like let them know, like, thank you so much for your service this year. And then give a comeback bonus. Anybody who comes back the next spring, give that bonus. And then third is that a lot of states have seasonal unemployment. So you can go on unemployment for a very short period of time. And a lot of states will have that because they understand there's a lot of employees that only work, or don't work 3-4 months a year.
Yeah, we used to, I don't know if Andy still does this. Andy Mashur, who was checking in earlier, who was partnered in our Minneapolis window cleaning business. Now he owns the whole thing. He bought us out, which is awesome. I still get to play CFO for him. So I feel like I'm still part of the business.
He's got Skeeter Deleter now too.
What?
I think he had a new brand. I think that was him.
Skeeter Deleter. It is.
There's
Skeeter
no way.
Deleter.
Yeah, there we go. Giant.
Yeah, it is.
Do you know that CFO?
I don't think that's Andy. I feel
Look on your face, Dan. You're like,
I don't think that's him.
I thought he was froze for a minute, Angela.
I think I would know if that was him. I don't think that's.
Is he lagging?
Andy, you still out there? Andy, I'm gonna text him. I don't think it's him. I don't think that's that Andy. Maybe it is. He didn't tell me about it. He didn't tell me about it.
You weren't in the know.
I feel like I'm getting left out here. I'm gonna be mad or sad.
We know. We know because we made his website.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Hey, more power to him. Michael says, first words out of my mouth, this is seasonal, you will be laid off. I could see him yelling that too, the way he typed it. I could see
that's freaking setting the expectations right there. That's pretty damn clear.
Yeah. But no, I like the comeback bonuses. We used to do that. We would do like $500 at the end of April, 500 at the end of May, and 500 at the end of June. And that way, like, it was an incremental reward. And those were always like our ramp up 3 busiest months. With fall, it was just, if you make it all the way till we say you're done, is another $1,000. But if you leave like a day before, right? If you leave a day before we say you're done, you don't get the $1,000.
I forgot to mention staggering it. Don't give the full amount on the first day. Like, then I'll come for one day and I'll leave. You got to stagger over 3 months. You nailed it. That's perfect.
Yeah. And it was useful. The hard part, I don't know if Andy still does it or not. The hard part was we added it, but we didn't like raise prices to be able to afford it. And I do remember like it killed our cost of goods sold for those time periods. We just didn't, and it's always tricky. Like you want to do more for your employees, but the customer ultimately has to pay for it, right? It can't just come out of your pocket. As the business owner, we do that all the time. We just give. And then when like we're working our asses off, and there's just nothing left for us.
Kind of, but calculate the cost to hire an employee, train that
yeah.
employee, the other technicians training that employee, versus $1,000 to retain somebody who already knows how to do it. They're already up to speed. They're already working at capacity. It's a wash.
I actually think it's cheaper to pay the bonuses. Like when
Oh,
we've
there-
looked at
okay, I
it,
didn't
Sean
wanna
and I,
go
Sean, it's
overstep,
probably
yeah.
been a few years since we did that math.
Yeah.
But I want to say it was $3,000 to $5,000 to get to recruit and get it,
Train,
depending
get
on the
them up to
industry.
capacity.
Yeah, like of the drain, and it's, you know, you got to get their whatever, some equipment for them, right? And you're gonna have some turnover, so only 1 out of every 2 is gonna stick. And then you need shirts for them because the dude that isn't there anymore took the shirts with him, right? And so there's all this other like incremental costs of bringing somebody new on. So I totally agree with you. It actually saves you money in cost of goods sold. I think I don't know if Andy still does it or not. We debated it because it did, like, those months got slammed. I don't know if it was because of that or if it was because of other stuff. But moving on. Any other?
I think I get a lot of, especially startups, or I've been in a couple of years, $250,000, $500,000 companies and business owners that tell me, you know, I really need to get health insurance. And that's like probably one of the biggest things that people think they need to have to get good employees. And it actually is probably one of the ones you hear the most that means the least.
Yeah.
It really is not that important to have health insurance. And now with this telemedicine and telehealth, you can get some really cheap telehealth stuff for people where you don't have to have a $3,000 deductible, paying 50 or 75% of the premium. It's just, what were it, like 5% of the people when we had a couple 10 or 11 home service businesses were using the health insurance. It wasn't something that was that important.
I was gonna say we had 100 employees, and there was never a time where 5 people were on our health insurance.
Yeah, so it's not a big deal. And the other thing we did was we did an employee survey maybe a couple months ago, and we surveyed a lot of different. We had customers that let us survey their employees and some others. And the one that we found to be by far the most important was paid time off. But when we did it with small companies that couldn't quite afford that, at least they couldn't think that they could afford that, it was still okay to say, if you work a half a day on a Friday, we'll pay you the full day. Come in the morning, you can leave by noon and but we'll pay you the full day. Or we'll pay you, take the whole day off, but we're going to pay you half the day. That was fine. Just any type of paid time off. And that was like everything to the employees on this employee survey we had. And you can be creative with it. It doesn't have to bankrupt you. And they all were like, so we started digging with this, and it's like, give them a long weekend with some paid time off, and it seems like you just paid them to not work for 3 days, 4 days.
Yeah.
And you paid maybe a half a day or a full day on a Friday. And that's huge to them. And that's what we found in this survey. Paid time off. Figure a way creatively, if you don't think you can afford it, to make it happen.
I've seen more and more businesses as well go to like the 4 on, 3 off.
Yeah. That was another one. Yep.
They build in, like, a lot of days aren't 8-hour days anyway, right? They end up being 9 or 10-hour days. And so just plan on a 10-hour day and work 4 days. That 10-hour day might slip to 11 or 12 hours, but if they can plan on it and work an extra hour or 2 on Monday through Thursday or whatever you do, then having that 3-day weekend is huge. And as a business owner, like, you're probably still going to work that extra day, but I don't know. My favorite days to work are Saturdays, right away in the morning before my kids get up. Like, that's the best time to work because no customer is reaching out.
Yeah,
no one's
reaching out. It's proactive time.
Yeah. Like, I just get to do Dan stuff and get some stuff done and like be in my own head. I don't have to solve anybody else's problems, which is cool. And so if you have like that Friday off or whatever day you do on a 4-day type of schedule like that, it frees you up to do your work instead of solve all the customer and employee problems that you have. You get to isolate those to 4 days instead of 5 days. One of the things I loved to do for employee engagement when I was like in the shop on a regular basis was cooking breakfast. Like, I'm all about, especially in the fall, we're talking about how busy everybody is. Have all the snacks, all the drinks, whatever. Like make your weekly Costco run and make sure there's enough energy and fuel calorie wise for your crews. Like just take care of what they're eating while they're at work. I'm not saying like buy them lunch every day. That's stupid. As a bookkeeper, that's freaking stupid. Don't take people out to lunch every day. You can't afford to. It's not built into your pricing. You can do it here and there, right? Or you can like bring them coffee. Like I would send a message out when it was really cold out, and I'd bring people like hot chocolates and coffees and whatever else. Michael, you airing out your armpit, or do you have a question? Or you got a
question?
No, I have my microphone up here. I would just hit the mute button. That's all I was doing.
Okay.
Sorry, squirrel.
It was a fair question. It was a fair question because I was like, what is he doing? It looks like he's raising his hands, but he's not making eye contact, so I don't think he's raising his hand. And you weren't. But I loved the cooking for people because I could go I can make better food than you can buy.
Yeah.
Humble brag. I'm a good fucking cook.
And breakfast is inexpensive. Like it,
Yeah.
I mean, on the budget, we do breakfast a lot. So Monday we just did it. He cooks there. But even like I got these breakfast sandwiches down. You go to Costco, you make eggs in a whole big pan. Like you can get the stuff at Costco to make 24 breakfast sandwiches super quick in a pan. Like we did a video on it. It's so easy, so inexpensive. It's like 75 cents a breakfast sandwich if you make them yourself from Costco.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And that goes a long ways to them if like they know they have the energy in the morning and everybody gets 2 breakfast sandwiches.
I would always make breakfast on Monday mornings, just breakfast sandwiches. I'd buy bagels and English muffins and whatever, and I'd have like a meat, egg, cheese. One crew that I had was very hot on avocados, so I'd go get an avocado if they were ripe. Like you go to the grocery store and it's like a 1 out of 5 times you're there where the avocados are like the right ripeness. And if they were, I'd buy them. So that was like a special treat. It was like a special treat to my kids. Hey, the avocados are ripe today. Here we go. And I'd take their custom orders, whatever. But yeah, it was like $20 to feed the entire team. And I love doing it on Monday mornings because the number of call-ins way down. Like it just made Monday mornings fun. And we got out the door late. We got out the door late every time because I'm a talkative son of a bitch. You can't shut me up. Obviously, I have a damn radio show. But like then they got to talk and we'd be talking about sports and we'd be talking about politics and we'd be talking about this and that and just BSing about what we did over the weekend. And like the camaraderie from just hanging out and eating breakfast together changed everything. Like it started the week on the right tone and the behaviors of the crew and just the longevity of the crew and just that culture was huge. We used to always talk about servant leadership. And I think that's the truest definition. Like serving, we got to serve the team. Like here, let me serve you a sandwich. And in the fall, especially, and this is just my forte, in the fall, I do a lot of bow hunting. And if I had shot a deer, we were having venison breakfast. And like a lot of people didn't grow up eating venison. They would get it like once in a while. And some people would be like questionable about it, right? Some people have like, what's that? It's probably gamey, right? Which is just the stupidest thing. And so I would like I just love cooking it. And that would send people out of their freaking shoes for a venison breakfast sandwich.
Man, when you get that many people showing up to work happily on a Monday morning, that's the end of the story right there. You're onto it, man. It's going to cost less than $1 or so. That's just, I mean, that's a no-brainer, man. That's an absolutely no-brainer. And I love Ed, man. Edward here.
Switch to a 4-day work week and Fridays were optional. Those that work on Fridays get paid the full day, and we usually only work a half a day. Team loves it. Hey, just a public service announcement for everybody. I just saw my mom's tuning in, so you all got to stop using the F word. Just FYI. Just wanted to let you know. I know you guys have been swearing a bunch. I definitely haven't. Make sure my mom knows that I haven't, except for those couple times if she goes back and watches. I'm sorry, Mom. She's reprimanded me. She's like, you swear too much. I'm just like, it's a business radio show. I don't know. Like, no kids are watching. Don't let your kids watch. Charity, you didn't tell me you wanted $5 and $10 gift cards. I feel like you duped me. No, there's some like memorable gifts that I've gotten, and I've talked about this before with like employee engagement rewards. We've already talked a lot about setting expectations, and like pay structures and bonuses are yeah, Jeannie says yes, no F's. Pay structures and bonuses are like if then rewards. If you do this, then you get that. They're super important for setting expectations, but they don't drive employee engagement. People don't stay at a job and aren't happy because of what they get paid. They only get unhappy if they don't get what they expected, but they don't get happy because they got what they expected. They will get happy if they get what they didn't expect. And so that's where now that rewards come in. You didn't expect to get this, but now that you did this, now you get this. So there's an expectation setting thing with pay structures, which is like, if you do this, then you get this. And again, that won't drive engagement. Pay structures don't drive employee engagement. They create expectations that allow you to meet them so people don't get frustrated and leave, but they won't keep them. What will keep them is the one-off things that they didn't expect to get. And Charity mentioned $5 or $10 gift card for coffee. I still remember Stephanie Qua. I was working at Cargill. I went down and presented to. I had like the coolest job. If I ever like totally suck at this and my businesses all fall apart and I got to go back to the corporate world, I had a job where I like worked with suppliers, I worked with customers, I worked with farmers, I worked with heads of corporations. Oh, I'm all leggy again. I'm just doing leggy stuff, being like a leggy robot-y dude. Look at me go. Is my audio leggy or just my video?
Just video.
Oh,
You're fine.
That's cool. Okay. Ignore that I look like a schmuck. I look like a schmuck anyway. I'm probably better if I'm leggy. But I had the coolest job. I would like one day or one part of the day I'd be at a chicken farm working with a farmer, like trading corn and soybean meal to try like feed their chickens. And the next day I'd be at McDonald's headquarters in a suit and tie presenting to their treasury department. I basically was a business owner. And the next day I'd be in our factory working with our ops manager, like on the production line, working on a project to put a new line in because this customer wants this thing. Like I got to work across the whole business. It was tons of fun. And Stephanie was our McDonald's brand manager. Like they were half of our business. Like imagine having a customer that's half of your business. Charity says Dan just needs a job where he can talk all day. Jai, I'm clicking it. Let me click the thing. Let me click it.
Sure.
I want to click it. I thought it was funny.
We're doing that thing again.
Charity, I do have a job where I talk all day. Like I'm just on meetings talking to clients or employees all day. But Stephanie, I presented to McDonald's treasury team and was like walking them through complicated options contracts and goofy trading things. And Stephanie got me a $10 McDonald's gift card. Why I remember that? Who the hell knows? It was just a $10 gift card, but it was unexpected. And so it was a now that reward. One of the funniest ones, and I talk about this every single time I talk about now that rewards, John Helwig. Again, like there's no reason I would even remember these people's names besides that now that rewards are so engaging and impactful. I worked at my uncle's company when I was in like high school and college, window finishing company. I would unload trucks, move them back to the paint line. And I worked in all the different phases throughout the years, but we would take them apart, paint them, prime them, sand them, paint them, repackage them, send them out. We did it with windows. We did it with displays. We did it all kinds of cool stuff. One day we got a window shipment like right at the end of the day. And John was like, hey, like you're one of the last ones here. Can you help me unload this truck of windows? Probably took a half an hour to like big patio doors and stuff where you need two dudes to be able to lift this stuff. And we wrapped up and he bought me a can of Pepsi. And I remember thanking him like 3 times. It just hit the spot. I was getting paid to work, right? Like it wasn't like I was off the clock. I probably got some overtime in. I think I was making $7.25 an hour. As a matter of fact, I was crushing it. Like I could put gas in my car. Sweet. But I'll never forget. He like laughed at me. I was so thankful. He's like, yeah, dude, it was a can of soda for 50 cents. And I'm like, man, you didn't have to do that. I just super appreciated it. Like I would have helped you. I would have helped you if I wasn't on the clock, right? Like I just wanted to help. But he bought me a can of soda and I'll never freaking forget it. And I never realized why it was so impactful until I realized like the now that rewards are the real engaging ones. When somebody gives you something you don't expect, that's the cool thing. Sorry for my rant. I think that's important though, because employee engagement, you got to engage your employees. Give them something they don't have.
Very well said.
Yeah. Closing thoughts. I took up so much time ranting. Like Charity says, you can't shut me up. Hey, Best Damn Bookkeeping. Thanks everybody for chiming in. Keep them coming. Who was that? Who wrote that? Who's writing stuff from Best Damn
It was
Bookkeeping?
a producer.
Yeah.
That's me.
Yeah.
That's me. I got you, man.
I know.
You know I got you.
Hey, you want to know something really funny, Jai? There's a
Is
gal
it?
on our team who I call Jas because I don't want to call her Jai because you're already Jai and I can't have two Jais in my life. That'd be really confusing.
Oh yeah. I
She's a
met her.
she's a bookkeeping nerd, but she wants to help with our social media stuff.
They met
Oh, did you guys already meet?
Yeah.
in person.
Yeah, of course you did. Of course you did. You guys know way more than me. Of course you did. But anyway, she might want to help us make some social media posts. She's a
Nice.
nerd. She's a nerdy social media gamer.
Yes.
You might
They
get
might
some,
have had a
Yes,
beer
please.
together.
yeah. I would hope
We
so.
did.
I would hope so.
We did.
Hell yeah.
We did.
All right.
You asked the question. I know we're way over time, Dan.
No, we're
But-
right on time. We're right on time.
Everything that you said today was about making a plan and executing on the plan. And a lot of times, small business owners, home service industry, not home service industry, they are always reacting. Like, we're going to send marketing out. Whatever happens, happens. We're just going to like react. And you're going to hit a ceiling way faster if you react versus make a plan and execute. So everything we talked about today was like making a plan and then executing that plan. You know when your end date is, you know what you're going to do when you keep people come back, or end of season bonuses. All these things are planned out ahead of time, so you're executing on predetermined strategies that you have in your business. That's how you're going to win.
Yeah.
Exactly. And I would just echo that, like, there are awesome employee engagement things. We kind of just scratched the surface, the breakfast, the different rewards, if then you get this. But none of that matters if you don't do like what you talked about, Michael, when you were first saying, like, if you don't run your business, like, that's your primary job as the business owner, to make sure there aren't fires. And so make that plan and execute all of the things you talked about, because otherwise none of the fluffy fun stuff matters if you didn't execute a plan and your employees, your team members are going through hell and stress because of fires you didn't anticipate.
That's a good point. Dig it.
Right point.
Way to wrap it up, Angela. Jai, play us out of here. Play us out of this
Okay.
thing. Give me some tunes. We gotta wrap this baby up. Man, that was good. I'm engaged. Talking about employee engagement is really engaging. I don't know what it is. It just gets you pumped up. Don't engage your employees, you guys. It's the fall push. Have some fun with it. Make sure you're not losing employees down the stretch. And as Ed said earlier, keep recruiting anyway. Keep recruiting. Don't stop. Go find Sean. He jumped off, but go get a hold of Sean. I got Jason Hoke from Issue ID on tonight. If you guys don't know what Issue ID is, it's freaking cool. It like shows your clients' issues on their property and then lets them like sign up to get them fixed. He's been on the show before. He was one of my first guests when I started Home Service Happy Hour. He likes to drink beer. He likes to bullshit. It's going to be a lot of fun. We'll be on tonight, 8 o'clock Central Time. Join us if you're thirsty and you want to have some fun and learn some stuff. Until then, you guys know what to do. Work smarter and harder. Go earn yourself some pride. Go check out Service Monster too. Shout out. Peace out, you guys.